Hey, all you backyard train fans, G-gauge, live steam modelers and such. Had a lot of people ask me about the layout that I've been shooting some videos with trains running on it. Basically, this is a test track. The whole thing is a test to try out different ideas. It's not going to stay here permanently, even though it could. It's going to be in the way of other work that's going to get done. So at some point I'm going to have to disassemble it, and I'm actually in the process of building another layout on the property over in a wooded area where it'll be a lot cooler, but then that'll have its own issues with leaves and twigs on the track. So you can either be in a shaded area and deal with those issues, or you can be in a wide open space but deal with the heat. Here on the northeast United States, very hot today. It's going to be 106 heat index. So, dealing with those issues, that's why I have the tents up. But I just, again, people are asking, what am I doing? And just to help other people with some ideas or what I've been finding. Okay, basically this is a flat, somewhat flat, slight angle to the left, elevation drops off for water runoff. There was nothing here, just plain dirt. I scraped everything off when I started with it. By using this 3/4 inch driveway stone, I have made a path down from my driveway over to the layout, and it goes around the perimeter of the layout, which is great because it can be raining. It could be a heavy rain. It could be one of these huge deluge of a rain. And while it's raining or after it's finished raining, I can walk on the stone and the water filters in between it and then out to the left. I have a couple of drain areas here. There's this box here collects water from the driveway and it's pouring out across here. There's a couple of downspouts on the house that go along and filter through the stone. And so I can come out here. Here's another downspout over here if you can see it. And the water just goes right along, right underneath the layout and right on down. There's a stream in the back. The tents are to give me some shade. Even though part of the whole thing is not completely shaded. Like there's an opening here. Each corner has an opening where it's exposed to the sun, and if it's raining, and of course if it rains, you get rain in between the tents. The tents, there's 6 tents here. Every leg is chained to a spike driven into the ground, 12-inch auger spike. So every leg is driven in both inside and outside of the layout. They're joined together with chains, stainless steel chains. The layout, the main wood legs are also chained with the same stainless steel chain and then 12-inch auger down into the ground to secure it. I don't think it's going to blow away. Now this has been up for a little over a month, and horrendous rain, horrendous windstorms. I don't take the tents down. I'm leaving them up to see what happens. If they rip and blow away, then so be it. But I want to know what happens with this. We get these horrendous shear winds coming through, 40-mile-an-hour winds, heavy rain, hail, and so far it's held up fine. Everything is holding up. The only issue is the sun is bleaching the blue color out of the tents. Now some of these tents have been used prior on another layout, and I used to set up when I work outside and wanted some shade. So some of them have been exposed to the sun longer than others. But after say 3 months of continuous exposure to the sun in this area of the country, it is starting to bleach out, almost a purplish color. I don't know. We'll see how it goes through the rest of the year and what it turns into. All right, the layout itself is a used portable layout that was built by a club up in Michigan. I bought it a few years ago. It's been in my backyard sitting on a pallet, and I thought, let me use it and construct the layout. Basically it's I didn't want to use all these straight panels There are 4 straight panels and the rest are curved. So I ended up using the 2 straight panels in the middle to make like a little yard. I could have made it larger, but I need room to get around it, and it just wouldn't work for me. Now this is 1-inch aluminum square stock, this here, and that's the frame. This is how they constructed it. This on top is Dibond, which is aluminum facing material, aluminum on the top and aluminum on the bottom, with a core foam inside. It's used for signage and such. It's supposed to last a long time. I don't know how old this is, but there is some places where it's starting to delaminate. And yeah, here you can see it right here in the sun. If you look carefully, like right here and here and there and here and there, it's starting to bubble up. So it's starting to delaminate. And I had this in my backyard and I picked it up, and all this water poured out from in the middle of it. So if you're in a part of the country where you have freezing conditions, I don't know how well this would work as a permanent outdoor solution. It might work fine, it may not, I don't know. And the other thing I found that the 8-foot, these are 8-foot straight sections, and they seem to sag a little bit. The green metal stands came with the layout, and if you put them to support the sections, there's a few extra that were put in the middle and you need it. On the 8-foot sections, it does kind of, well, these are bent a little bit. Again, I don't know if it's from heavy snow, handling, I don't know how old it is. So I had to kind of jack up the centers a little bit to straighten it out. I decided to go with just pressure treated legs, wooden legs. I made these up and I put them at all the joints where the pieces go together. Now I made them all the same size so it would be easy to construct. And then I put the stone down first, and then I just got some blocks and set them right on the stone and then put the legs on there. These do not go way down the ground. They're not, there's nothing below them. Any of these cement blocks are just standard cement blocks you get at a Home Depot or Lowe's or a home building center near you. And they're just like, you know, 1 inch or whatever it is, 1 1/4 thick. And the beauty is when it rains, like when this water is coming out of this downspout setup here, this is just a temporary thing here also. I'm going to be doing work on the back here. But the water will be shooting right out. But it goes right through the stone, goes underneath these cement blocks, and just goes across, and then on the other side and goes on down. You know, as long as I got a slope going, it goes away from here, which works out really good. So far, it's worked out really good. What winter will bring, I don't know. This might be gone before winter. Depends on other construction going on in the property. Okay, so we have these blocks, and we have the pressure treated wood comes up. This underneath here, they had put a plate. I'll get underneath here, and you can see there's a square plate in the corners. So what I did, I bolted through that plate to the pressure treated wood. You can see that there, and then onto the leg. And then I was adjusting the height by putting stone underneath the cement block. So I would tamp these blocks up as needed or down to get the right height. The layout is set up for live steam, so it has to be perfectly level, which it is. Perfectly level, shot with a laser level. Now, one thing I found is I got around to the low side where there's a little slope. I needed to adjust it, so if you can see, I just added washers at the top in between the pressure treated lumber and the square plates that were already welded on to these panels. And then the 1x1 aluminum goes across in different sections. You can see it as you look down there. Try to hold this steady. All right, so that's how this is constructed, and they welded it. I built a layout for a club, and I just did everything with pop rivets, all the tubing, and instead of Dibond, I used sheets of 1/8-inch aluminum. And that's a portable layout that's been in use for over a year, and we take it apart and move it and store it off location, and it's held up fine. So same construction with the 1x1 aluminum on the sides, and all I did was just have a brace across here You got the two sides and then one on that side, and it's all pop riveted together, and then put a guardrail on it, actually on both sides on the portable layout. On this layout, this did not come with it. I added this after I assembled it, just on the outside edge, all the way around, in case something's going around and does derail and flies off. I just want to catch it. I figured it'd be more likely to come off on the outer edge versus the inside loop. This part right here has no guardrail because this is where we steam up, I make adjustments, I work on the engines, and so nothing is here to keep this open. All right, this was also constructed, I can't really show you, but in here, between these pieces, one piece has like a peg sticking out that slides this section into this section to hold it. And a lot of the portable layouts have that. There's some sort of a square stock peg or whatever that's a little bit smaller in diameter, and it's permanently attached to one side, both sides of this, say this panel, and then it slides into this panel. The layout that I built that's used at the museum is built the same way. So you just have the pegs and just slide together, and there's adjustable legs. I had a real hard time getting this to fit up. So if this was going to be a permanent layout, well, actually I'm going to build a permanent layout over in this wooded area, I'm not going to put these pegs in. I'm going to use the same kind of aluminum square stock, but I'm going back to the aluminum 1/8 inch plate on top and not die bond for this. I guess that'll be the fourth layout I'll be constructing. So this is a good test to learn like how a lot of this stuff goes together. What else? Track. This is new flex track. This brass track is not. All this silver looking track, which is the bulk of it, is flex track, 5-foot aluminum flex track from AccuCraft. And it's 5-foot sections. Currently, as of today, which is, I don't even know what the date is, the 22nd, I think, of July, it is $80 for a box of 6 pieces of flex track, which comes to $2.67. $2.67 a foot. That's current right now. I just checked the website this morning. It's still available at that price. So basically I use the aluminum flex track because, again, I'm running live steam mainly, and battery don't need a transformer. So when you're doing that, you don't need the rail clamps. Now, they give you brass rail joiners. I don't know why they didn't give you aluminum or stainless or something. So I found a local hobby shop that still has the Aristocraft stainless steel rail joiners, and that's what I've put on here because I think it looks better, and it's stainless steel, and it's not going to corrode. I'm not worried about connectivity. Again, I'm not running battery. I'm not running DC 2-rail electric. I'm running battery, and I'm running live steam. That's why this has to be perfectly dead level, and they call this dead rail. Now, I do have these re-railers on here, which are brass, and the only reason I have them is because I already had them sitting in a storage area, and I said, let me use them. I do like having something like this because it's easy to put a car on. You just take the car and you roll it back and forth, and it's ready to roll. You're not fiddling with the wheels and so on. Oh, this is 332 also. 332 flex track. They do sell the 250, which is smaller. I really don't like it, but if you're a serious modeler and a purist, then you're probably going to want to use something like that. I'm not that interested in all that. I just want something that I can put down that's heavy duty. It's going to last. I can get additional parts for it easily. It won't have to be special ordered. These switches are things that you can, this is Aristocraft switches. I have a bunch of them here that are used. You can pick them up at shows and online, auction sites and Facebook buy sell gauge G-scale stuff for about $50 each, and it works fine for me. Yeah, it's brass. It's you try to get you know, nickel, silver, or stainless, or whatever. They're hard to find and very expensive. So I'm looking for something that's durable, inexpensive, and get you up and going quick, and you can, you know, start to have fun and start to do something. You know, when you have to start special ordering things, and you're waiting, and you know, if you want to get something up and going, again, I recommend going to these train shows. If you're in an area of the country that has train shows, you can pick up things really cheap. You can, you know, wheel and deal. Also, if you can arrange with regular suppliers that are around and meet at the train show, you can save on the shipping cost. It's a good way to do that. And then again, on Facebook, I find there's lots of deals. I'm not going to start naming people that I deal with, but there's a lot of good, reputable people out there. Just be cautious though, a lot of scammers going on. So you really need to pay attention, you know, what you're doing. The layout, it's 2 foot across. So from here to here, it's 2 foot. You can squeeze in 3 tracks, 8-inch centers in between. Some people do 7. I like 8, gives you plenty of clearance. These wide radiuses, it really doesn't matter, but if you're, you know, running a real tight radius, 10-foot diameter or 8-foot diameter, then, you know, big equipment starts to overhang, and then you have to be concerned with things that might run into each other. Again, I put this guardrail here. It's just pop riveted. It's just there's a metal place near me. You can get it's already, I think this is 1.5 high by 1/8 inch. It bends real easy. Just wrap it right around. A couple of pop rivets, stainless to hold it. Does fine. Let's see what else. Oh, right here, I did connect wires to the rail. All it is the wire is slid in to the joiner, and on each side, and then I have the wires come down, and then I hook a transformer up, because I do have some things that are not converted to battery yet, and I want to test them out. And believe it or not, this works really well. The transformer, you know, again, I'm not using rail clamps. I'm not using conductive grease. I'm not doing anything special. It's just, they're just, you know, joined together like this, and it runs great. I have a friend down in near me that runs aluminum outside for years, and he said he has no problem. I'm not recommending to do that, but that's just, he does it, and he says it works good. I'm doing it here, it works fine. Actually, where I have a problem is this brass re-railer, when there's like a little bit of a dead spot in here, because I didn't sand this up, I didn't clean this up, because I wasn't planning on using a battery. And it does hesitate here. If you know, go fast enough, it'll go right over it. But it's just interesting. This is where the problem is. Aluminum is perfect. Of course, it's brand new. Hasn't been out in the weather to corrode it all. Okay, now this outside track, there are no switches. Goes all the way around. This is about 90 feet. This oval on the outside track is about 90 feet approximately. So that does not have any switches, so you know, you can run something, you don't have to worry about anything being in your way or dealing with the switches. The 2 inside tracks, I do have a crossover here in this area here, and then I use these extra panels, and I just came down here and I have a little yard with a runaround and a little siding, you know, off here. I happen to have these Aristocrat bumpers, some bumpers down on the end, and then I just use them because I had them, and you know, sitting in a box. The other thing I like with this tent setup is I've added lights. So each tent, there's 6 tents, each tent has a LED light, and then I just run the wires, extension cords down, and just wrap some plastic, but it's pretty waterproof here, and then it comes down to my extension cord here, and I plug it in, and I can light this up. And it, even like right now, it's a little dark under here, and it does make a difference. And at night, it is unbelievable to run the trains when it's pitch black. And I do have some videos posted on the site where this one is, and you can go check it out. I'm running some live steam, a K4 with 9 cars, and it's just, to me, I thought it was spectacular. And the K4 is also set up with RC control, live steam RC control, 1/29th scale. So that's pretty dramatic. And you know, if you're having a layout or you're putting something or thinking about it, it's just something to consider. Okay, what else we got going on here? Let me just walk around. If you look at the other videos, you can get an idea of trains running on the layout. Um, Spacing of the rails. Okay, there's always a discussion on what should the spacing be. Here, you know, again, this is in the direct sunlight most of the day. It's a little bit of shade right now, but it won't be for long. And the rail does expand, you know, aluminum, brass, whatever you're using, stainless, nickel, silver. I'm finding that, like, this is like around an eighth of an inch, and you probably don't even need that. I'm thinking, and this is being built, you know, the heat of the summer, probably the thickness of a credit card. I'm working on another layout down the street, and there'll be another video on that. There's already one posted. It's all wood. It's a total different kind of construction setup. I'm not building that. I laid it out and I'm doing the track work, but the actual wood construction, someone else is building that. And we're going to set these joints, same rail, 3/32 aluminum, but we're going to set these at a credit card thickness in the heat of the summer. And then we'll see, you know, as it cools and it expands and this gap gets bigger, what will this be? So that'll be interesting to see how that works. But even this I think is too much. I mean, it works fine, nothing derails, and you know, but so just something to think about. You know, again, what are the materials are you going to use to build your layout? Again, I like the layouts that are on the ground. You can do the plants, you can do, you know, the buildings, the water features, all that great stuff, bridges, trestles, so on and so forth. I like that, but of course, as a lot of people have said and talked about, as you get older, it gets harder to get down there and work on these things. The other issue, you know, as you get older, or maybe you're mobility impaired, you might need to have a chair or might be in a wheelchair. If you have an elevated track, it takes care of that problem. Live steam, it would really be hard to do that on the ground. You could, but being elevated really helps. So there, you know, there's advantages and disadvantages. The other thing with on the ground, you're kind of just looking, aerial view, looking at the building, rooftops, and the cars. I like the track being up in the air, so you can really get a good view, get down and really look at it go by. Now this again is just more of a test track. It's not a permanent track. The permanent track I'm going to build is going to be wider. It'll have 4 tracks and yards and room for buildings, so and sidings, things like that. So again, this isn't set up for that, but if you go online, lots of people have elevated tracks, plenty of room, made out of all kind of material, you know, from wood to the aluminum to this composite dye bond to other materials. And they leave room for, you know, buildings and roads and cars and plants, and they put plants, cut holes in it and have plants coming up, or have large trees right next to the layout coming up. So lots of options. Again, a lot of people have asked, what is it that I'm doing? And I just wanted to give you a quick overview. I think I covered everything from the material used on the layout, the track spacing, running live steam. This is called dead rail, even though you could hook up a transformer. Tents for shade, lighting. If you got any questions, just send me a message. Oh, and the other thing, even with these tents, the sun's going in and out here at the moment, but maybe you can see it. You could see it earlier. Even though these tents come way out, you can see now earlier the sun was at a lower angle. The sun was actually right up to the edge of the layout. And of course, as the sun goes over the top, the shade now will move more toward the outside edge of the tent. But then on the other side, it becomes less and less and less. So something to think about, if you're going to have some sort of shade, you probably want about 4 feet of tent or coverage to keep you out of the sun. My purpose is not so much the weather. Everything here is waterproof, well, the wood, but it's mainly for shade, for me to stay out of the shade. But something to think about: where you're located, where is the sun, what kind of sun do you have, what kind of shade do you need to protect yourself. I'm not worried about the track. It's made of to be outside in the weather. The dye bond, the aluminum, things like that, cinder block. Now the next layout, and when I get to that, it'll be probably some time before that happens. That will be again aluminum deck with the aluminum rail, but it'll be cinder block legs coming up. There will be no wood or metal other than aluminum, so it'll be totally hopefully corrosion free, and nothing no wood to rot and things like that. Again, the same stone, 3/4 inch stone base to walk on. And this is just a thin coating too. Over where the trees are, I've had stone down for almost a year now, and it hasn't hurt the trees. It's only the thickness of the stone. So water can filter through to get to the tree roots. It's not killing the trees. It's not hurting anything. And I do get the occasional grass coming up in here, or weeds. And I just hit it with the weed sprayer. And and right in the middle here, I didn't bother putting any stone because, again, this is just a temporary thing. I just sprayed this the other day, just to, I'm not going to get in there with a lawnmower and cut that, just to knock it down. So, okay, I think that oh, and the other thing is I got a battery operated blower. I don't have it here, but that works really good for clearing off the track. So again, I have the tents to protect me, but when I'm going to be in the wooded area, I know there's going to be branches and leaves and things falling. Just something for you to think about. DeWalt makes them, I'm sure other people make them, but it's not real powerful, but enough that it will blow any debris off the track, dirt, dust, twigs, leaves, so on. And then you don't want it strong enough or it's going to blow a building off. So, all right, so that's everything I know at this point. Hope that was some good information, and hope to see you trackside. Hey, I'm back again. One quick thing: as I was reviewing the video I just shot, I left out a couple of items I think is important. And one is I found these black stainless steel screws on Amazon, and they're about 3/4 of an inch long, and that's what I'm using to secure the track. And I try to put them near the joints, within a tie or so of the joints, and then I go roughly every 6 ties and put another screw in, and I drill my own hole and then put the screw in. So I just wanted to mention that. That's something people might wonder about. About every 6, 7 ties, put the screw in. It's stainless steel. Again, I'm looking for things that aren't going to corrode and are easy to take apart. I like things that I can take apart easy in case I need to make a change. And again, with any system, whether you're running the 2-rail DC or like here, dead rail, whatever, you need to leave space for expansion. Again, the ties are held to keep the shape, but again, there's room for expansion here at the joints, and this rail will move up and down, especially the portable layout. We found that after operating the live steam, like a lot of times the rail will shift a little bit, it'll slide. So we need to adjust that. So just something to be aware of if you're in an area where you get a lot of heat or even cold. The rail is going to expand and contract, and you need to kind of account for that. However in your design, however you build it, just something to think about. Okay, so I guess that concludes the video. So I hope to see you trackside. Thanks.